You're welcome back. The rollout of the bank verification exercise begins today in Lagos and actually preceding a nationwide rollout. So we're having the program being rolled out in full force all over the country. And as a bank customer, you're expected to go to your bank and also get the number for yourself. And to look at these issues on the program, we have here in the studio a financial and management consultant. He is Orji Udemezue. Okay, just before we bring in Orji Udemezue, we will be listening to some Nigerians on what they think about this new project of the central bank. Let's listen in.
It's encouraging. It's really overdue for now because the nation itself really needs a new change. And one would have expected the CBN governor to have brought this earlier than now, because it is to encourage people have good identities, to encourage bank lendings and all that. Well, ideally, it's something that should have taken place over a long period of time. So it's a welcome development.
It's a good policy, but like every other policy that just comes in, it will have its own challenges. Like the challenge concerning those who have accounts with people who don't have fingers or something. But I know that is a truth, it's a fact. Some people open accounts on behalf of other people. So if those people now, the only means of identification is now the fingers, how are they going to do that? So in my own view, I would say the normal process for identification should remain, and this should also come on board to check and balance up those little insignificant trouble.
People are going to be skeptical about this policy, especially based on the fact that it's going to have an imprint on your thumb and all that. It's just like reminding them of how scary Antichrist is going to be. So I don't think, and when you're making a policy, you must have at the back of your mind, will it be acceptable to the people?
Those are comments from Nigerians. They were actually expressing the view about the bank verification number initiative of the central bank, which is also the Know Your Customer program. And of course, to look at these issues and details is Orji Udemezue, is a financial management consultant. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Balaji. It's
morning.
always my pleasure to be
here. Thank you. I'm sure you've listened to those comments.
Yeah.
I just wanted to start from that angle. One of them said that these project or this initiative should have been done earlier than before now. And also we've seen the issue of fingerprints. This one was saying that for those who don't have fingerprints, how would they be recognized?
Okay, Balaji, I mean, it's important we understand that the banking sector or the financial system of any economy is very critical to facilitating economic development in that economy. So to that extent, anything we can do to ensure a more efficient, financial system, we should do. The person that said this should have come earlier on before now, I'm sure, would want to mean that Nigeria ought to have got to a point where we can use biometric system to be able to identify people and allow people access to some kinds of places. So for me, it's important to note that this project should be riding on the back of a national identity system that recognizes biometric identification of people in this country. In Nigeria today, we don't have a system of knowing who is Nigerian or how many we are in the country and finding a way to identify ourselves. We have a very poor national ID system. That's where to start from. If we had that kind of system, then the financial industry can easily leverage on that to carry on this project. So in truth, this system ought to have been in place. But for me, it ought to have been in place at the national level. Nigeria today should be able to say that anywhere you go in this country, we know who Nigerians are.
Well, I think
and if we are in doubt, we can easily place their finger and confirm that they're Nigerians.
There have been some efforts to actually carry out the identification management
for over decades
for
now.
Nigeria.
We've had that effort. We come, announce it, very bogus plan. The budget is made for it, and then something starts happening, and it cuts off. And that's why today in the north, we don't know who are Nigerians. The people coming from Niger, from Somalia, from everywhere, from our neighboring country, and they come in and they easily, claim to be Nigerians, and we cannot identify them.
Would that actually have sufficed in this case if the federal government at the national level had started this years ago, like you said? Do you think the central bank would have actually gone into it as well?
If Nigeria had before now got it right in terms of national identification projects that we said we would do through biometric system, by now it would be an easy sale. It would be an easy process for the central bank or the NIBSS to be able to, ride on the backbone of that IT infrastructure, of that data, large and robust data system, to be able to bring it into the financial system to say, okay, now we have a national system that recognizes everybody by their biometric details, fingerprint, or the eye, or whatever else we want to use. And then you find that we can easily, translate that, into the know your customer rule in the banking industry. So having said that, we will now be looking at now the central bank, through the bankers committee has said, okay, this is the way to go. The question, one can ask is, have we got to that point where we can successfully start this and finish it? Vis-a-vis many other projects that we're handling concurrently, with this. We have the mobile money. We're still trying to make popular. It's still a very hard sale trying to get it into the system. We have the cashless policy, which even the NIPS has tried to give an incentive for those who use the cashless system, the internet banking system, the POS and ATM to do transactions that you get some reward, maybe 50 kobo per every 100 naira you do. Just a way to encourage this. And it's still not scratching it. It's still not getting in there. Today we have only about 7 states where that's practiced. So you're wondering, is this the right time to start this one again? While these other financial inclusion strategies have not started taking speed in the economy.
Okay, we'll get back to these issues of the other projects of the central bank, the mobile money, the cashless policy, before we wrap up the program.
Check truncation and all of those.
Yeah, we'll get back to all of that. But I just want to ask you, you've been in the banking sector for some time, and now you're a bank customer. Now, when you look at what the banks want to start doing, and the fact that you've been in the system before, and right now as a bank customer, how do you think this would go?
If we get this done successfully, it's going to be a huge plus. I must not forget to say that. It's just the timing that I'm worried about. It's going to be a huge plus for the financial system. As it is today, many Nigerians find it very difficult to be able to get a bank account because you require them to bring their international passport. You wonder, the poor people in the villages, how many of them actually know what international passport means? You want people to bring their driver's license before you can open a bank account for them. Or they get an ID card of a big organization or public or private institution. Or you want them to get your national ID card, which today you wonder whether it's really operational. Or you want them to get maybe NEPA bill and all of those. And in many communities, these are easy to gather in the urban centers. In many rural areas, especially when people are also illiterate, they are not educated, and yet they have some monies to keep in the system, they are scared. They are drifting away. I've had a situation where you are faced with a customer who really needs to do it. Maybe a village person who has just sold land or done some transaction and needs to put the money in the financial system. And unfortunately, you go up and down. Can you get this document? No, I don't have it. Can you get that? No. And you have to now go through a tortuous process